Hello YouTube, Jason from Renegade Ranch Comics, coming from the Renegade today to show you some of the birthday comics that my friend Trevor and Sean got me, and some of the pickups I've done over the last week. So, first thing that they got me is Wolverine #1 from the limited series with Chris Claremont and Frank Miller. And it's a key, it's the first Wolverine title, and it's the first cameo of Yukio. It is also iconic because it's the first use of the term, "I'm the best there is at what I do." And I actually had this in a facsimile, but I never actually had the original, so they got me that, and it's really nice of them. They also got me #2. They got me #3. And they got me #4. I kind of always thought it was funny he's got the crossbow on there. I don't think Wolverine needs a crossbow. So, next couple things that got me is, I'm not a huge X-Men collector, and there's certain titles, like even Wolverine, that there's so many books out there, there's so many titles, and with X-Men, I just never knew where to start collecting, and you can just go down the rabbit hole, and, you know, you've got classic X-Men, uncanny X-Men, so I've actually started picking up a few here and there, and it's kind of making me concerned, because I know how long it took me to get the books that, like, most of my books have a start and an end period, and there's variations on them, like the Punisher, but, like, when I was going for the late 80s, and 90s Punisher run, I knew I had 1 through like 113, 114. That's what I was looking for. And then you've got something like the X-Men that's, what, 600 issues now? I'm never going to have some of them. I know my friend Sean, he's trying to do a Spider-Man run, and there's certain books that he knows that he's probably not going to get. So he's been getting a few from, like, I think like 100 to 199. He's kind of picking them up as they come, but he's dedicating from 200 on. So, but they got me Uncanny X-Men 212. And this is 1986. It's a key. It's the first battle of Wolverine versus Sabretooth. And it's Claremont and Barry Windsor Smith on that. And then, of course, they got me 213. And again, the classic Wolverine Sabretooth cover, and this is from 1987. It's the key. It's Betsy Braddock joins the X-Men and adopts the name Cyclops. First cameo of Mr. Sinister, and this was Chris Claremont and Alan Davis. Then they got me, before Wolverine, there was Weapon X, so Marvel Comics Presents. And it was #72, and it's from 1991. Key, it was an ongoing Weapon X Barry Windsor Smith stories, origin of Wolverine and Weapon X. So, and I think this went through issue 84 for the Weapon X storyline. Then I was really shocked that this one was in there as well, but they got me X-Men 4. And 1992, of course, Jim Lee, iconic cover, and first Omega Red. And then this is, so I just want to say thank you to those guys. They sporadically watch, I know they do, but just when they see this, thanks. Then I have some of my local pickups. I did Cable, Love, and Chrome #2. Pretty interesting storyline. I've always liked Cable, so I started kind of dipping in if I find books here and there. Then I've got Deadpool and Wolverine #2, and some Benjamin Percy goodness on that, so I really kind of like the way he's doing the storyline on this. And then I wasn't planning on picking anything else up, because like I said before, I've got a massive pull list right now, and I'm trying to keep the pull list to a minimum. I want to save the money up. like, I know Free Comic Book Day is coming up. There's really good sales. So, I mean, I know that's till May, but like, I've kind of gone nuts a little bit. So I really appreciate those guys getting me the books that they got me, because I then have gone on a claim sale that probably paid a little more than I should have. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but, you know, I wanted to support those guys, Colossus Collector and Dan's X-Men. Then I finally did Whatnot, because Funky Town Comics down in Syracuse, they had a Whatnot show on the other day, and I only bought one book, but it was one of those things, I can see how easily it is to get sucked into the Whatnot. So, again, I want to save my money. I mean, I'm not going to not buy, but I want to, if I buy something, I'm hoping to fill in a run piece. So, but, and I don't collect Spider-Man as a whole, but I love the Punisher. So I was going through my, with my friend the other day, Patriot Flipper, our local comic shop. And I found this, and it is rough, but it was Amazing Spider-Man 161. And you can see that whole section's gone, and it's kind of hard to see, but there's actually tears in the cover. And I wasn't going to do it, but it was $3.99. And it's from 1976, but it's a key because it's the first cameo of Jigsaw as an unseen sniper. And it also has the Punisher in there. And any of the early, well, I wouldn't say early, but the 70s ASMs that have the Punisher, since that's where the Punisher came from, I'm going to consider that kind of part of my Punisher run. So I picked that up. It's really low grade, but kind of happy to have it into the collection anyway. Then Kevin Eastman is going to be at Terrificon this year, and I loved the Turtles when I was a kid. I mean, the cartoon, the movies, I had it. I had a couple of the figures, but I literally didn't have any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle books. Like, it's just one of those things. It's like, never really picked any up. So I was like, I need to find a TMNT book just to have. Because if I decide to have Eastman sign something, I wanted to have one. So I found this. This is from 2023. It's cover B. It's TMNT IDW 137. And it is Sophie Campbell and then Kevin Eastman. The fact that Eastman signed it and it looks like 22 right there, I figured that would be good to have a signature since he actually did the cover on this one, and I thought that was kind of cool. And then the last one that I've got is actually a freebie. So my LCS is usually really generous, Patriot Flipper. Like, I've got kind of a good relationship going with those guys. Of course, I'm in there at least once a week, maybe twice a week. And, you know, I try to make sure that when I'm in there, I do pick something up to, you know, help keep them going. You know, not that my $10 is really setting the world on fire, but I figured if everybody thought like I did, you know, we could make the world go round. So this is a reprint from 2024, and it is World, and I'm going to probably do this wrong, but World Tree. And this was number 1, and it was James Tinian IV on it, and Fernando Blanco. And they gave this to me. So every once in a while, they'll have, they used to have the previews, and they would give me the previews, but every once in a while, they have like a stack, and I don't know, I know they go to a lot of cons themselves, so I don't know if they find these things and, you know, get them, or, you know, what they do, but every once in a while, they'll give you kind of a promotional, if you spend a certain amount or whatever, and like this week, I didn't spend that much, but they were nice enough to throw one in there for me, so I appreciate them. I'm not sure there's a comic book show this weekend in Syracuse. I'm not going to be making, but it may change, and even if it does, my plans do change. I might not be around. So I plan on Thursday heading down to Fayetteville, North Carolina to visit my dad and my family down there. So I'm kind of hoping to leave on Thursday. And the show in Syracuse is going to be, it's like a wrestling show, collectible show, comic show. And I think Mon and I think Chris Parker are actually going to try to meet up and go to that one. But I'm looking at the weather forecast, and I'm not sure what I'll be driving into because I'd be driving down, and it looks bad, like for the week. So I'm kind of playing that by ear right now. That being said, I'm probably not going to have a video next week. I know that's going to disappoint the tens and tens of viewers I get, but maybe I can actually find like a good shop down there. I thought that would be kind of interesting because I've never really looked for anything like that when I'm down there to visit. I've been down 2 or 3 times now. So kind of looking forward to going down there, spend some time with the family. My stepmother, my dad, and I, and my grandfather would have all share birthdays in February. So I've been trying to make it so that we go and kind of have like a February birthday party for everybody, kind of thing. Just something to do. So if you want to do me a favor, if you like this content, you like the books I picked up, give me a like, share, comment. If you have suggestions for videos you want to see, I've kind of thrown a whole bunch of different content ideas for the comic book space out there, from reviewing a couple products to what do I do when I go to a con to, this, that, and the other thing. And, they kind of do all right, but the one that I want to do, but I don't want to step on his toes, No Good Comics does an origins story kind of thing where he does a live show with a content creator or somebody in the community about what got him into comics and, where they, kind of started from. And my friend Sean actually suggested I do a video like that he thought that would be interesting. So I might reach out to No Good. I know he's not going to care because it's not going to be the same format, but I was thinking I might just do like an origin story of like, here's the comics that got me into comics. Here's how I got out of comics, because I swear everybody does that. I think people get into comics. They may be heavily into comics. They might just be a light reader or light, pick up an issue here or there. And then at some point, and comment down below if I'm wrong, but I think at some point you get out of it. I don't know if you get married, maybe that your significant other is not into the hobby at all. You don't want people to know, like, because I remember the stigma of when you read comic books back in the day, and even now, oh, you read comic books? And I think that's actually gone down a lot, thanks to the Marvel movies and things going on with the DC universe and stuff like that, and Gunn taking that over. But I think that there was a pretty good stigma for a while where I didn't know there was a YouTube space to get onto and talk to other people who like comics. Like, I was lucky enough that my friend Dave, my friend Sean have always been into comics to a certain degree. Dave's kind of gotten more into Dungeons and Dragons, but they're always into gaming. I was never a big gamer, and it's going to sound bad, but I'm too stupid to play the games, because there's a lot of times where I just don't understand what's going on. And like, the only game I ever really got into was HeroClix, because that I could figure out. But even then, like, we would have the card, to deal the damage, whatever. And I wouldn't know that I could use this and this against the roll, and so they kind of had to help me with that. So I know that they've been trying to break me into gaming gradually, and that's part of the reason why my friend Dave's been trying to get me to do D&D for a while. And I know Bell Izzard does a lot of D&D, and I know that Hagen and Nate from Hall Yeah, Hagen from Lettuce, I know that they're kind of into it. And I'm kind of wondering if that might be even something for like a sideline, like, comic book creators that are into D&D. Maybe they have a online game once a week or something like that. I thought that would be kind of a cool idea, and it might be able to break people like me into that. But still trying to think of some things to do. I haven't gone through all my Punishers yet to kind of show those on the channel. I did quite a few, but I've got a couple variations and stuff like that. The hodgepodge comics that I've been picking up, I might do something on, like, why did I get this? And I was kind of thinking that at some point I'm going to do a live stream. I've been saying I'm going to do a live stream. I've done a couple other channels, like Mon had me on one. Eric from SideQuest, he had me on one. But it's one of those things that I'm not sure time-wise and stuff like that, who's got time, so I might put some feelers out, see if there's anybody that wants to jump on to be a guest. And then I will probably want to do like a test run, not necessarily overdo it, but just kind of come up with some suggestions. So what would you like to see for my first live stream? What's your comic pickups of the week, which I see a lot of the other guests do, or maybe what other hobbies do you have beside comic books? Like, I have a weird fascination with watches. Not that I don't have really great watches, but I've got a couple decent watches, but I've got a pretty substantial watch collection, because that was my thing too, is like, oh, I like that watch, and you find one, you buy it. What are some of the other things you're into? Are you into D&D? Down in the comments, what do you guys do? Like, what's some of the hobbies you do? I do car shows and comic shows in the summer, because I was an auto mechanic. And then I ride my motorcycle. What other things do you collect? Anybody doing toys, figures? The skulls of your defeated enemies? I'm not sure, but if you want to comment down below, what do you think my first live stream should be? Some suggestions for some shows coming up that you would like to see, and maybe, just maybe, what you actually collect besides comic books, so maybe we can get a conversation going. I know that there's a community tab, and I've thrown some stuff out there before, and I kind of want to get that more involved, so if we get a few good comments going on down here, maybe I'll open it up onto the community tab and see if I can push that a little bit to see if I can get conversations going that don't necessarily have to be just me, that other people can talk to everybody. So thanks for sitting through this. Thanks for watching. If you're in the polar vortex, or whatever we're calling it today, because there's names for every storm system and or weather related thing that we've got, stay warm, stay safe, drive safe, and we'll see you next Tuesday.